Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take a stack of fascinating research and, well, we basically hand you the cheat codes to sound like the most informed person in the room.
And today we're digging into a cultural icon that, honestly, holds one of the richest paradoxes in all of American media.
We are talking about Bugs Bunny.
And it's
And
so easy to just dismiss him, as a wisecracking character who just loves carrots.
Right, but the sources we pulled together, they reveal something much, much deeper. When you hear that famous question,
Yeah, what's up, Doc?
exactly, that casual, completely in control attitude, that's the key.
It is. It's the entry point.
Mm-hmm.
Because our sources argue that Bugs Bunny is a, quote, rabbit, who fundamentally cannot and actually refuses to live like one.
I love this idea. He's defined by his species, but he completely rejects it.
He does. As kids, we just accept the slapstick, the carrot chewing. It's just who he is.
Yeah.
But when you look at it with an adult analytical lens, the sources are clear.
Mm.
His species is a costume. His real identity, it's Trickster.
So our mission today is to really get under that gray and white fur, to understand the cultural, even mythological significance that's hiding there.
And to figure out why this identity crisis he has still resonates so deeply today. It's a real aha moment waiting to happen.
This is not just about animation history. It's about how we construct figures that, defy their expected roles.
We're going to show you the evidence that Bugs was, by design, never meant to be just an animal.
Okay, let's unpack that with concrete evidence. If the argument is he's not really a rabbit, how do the classic cartoons themselves show us this?
Well, the animators, especially over at Warner Bros., Termite Terrace, they were absolute geniuses with contrast.
Okay.
Think about the rare times they actually show us natural rabbits in the cartoons.
Oh, right. They're usually these small, timid creatures on all fours.
Exactly. They dig burrows, they nibble grass, they live by instinct and, frankly, by fear. They just react to things.
They're creatures of nature.
Pure nature. Now compare that to Bugs. He walks upright. He uses this incredibly sophisticated language. He schemes.
He uses props, disguises. Sometimes he's in a tuxedo for no reason.
Right. And the sources point out that he actively refuses to abandon that humanized identity. He's just too witty, too cultured, too much of a showman to be a simple animal.
That makes it feel so much more intentional, not just a cartoon shortcut.
And we have to talk about the 1952 classic short, Operation Rabbit.
Oh, that's the one that pits him against Wile E. Coyote, right?
Well, that's the one. And it is a masterclass in this whole paradox.
Yeah.
Because in that short, Bugs runs into a whole family of those generic natural rabbits.
And the contrast is it's jarring.
It is. Where the real rabbits are timid and they're just focused on digging and hiding, Bugs is waging psychological warfare.
Yeah, he's playing chess while they're just surviving.
The real rabbits are in this, filthy, complex warren, and Bugs is often just leaning against a tree, relaxing, munching his carrot. He's not living in the dirt.
So the gag isn't just Bugs is funny. The gag is Bugs is not one of them. He's a total outsider to his own kind.
He is a constructed persona. For the kids watching, the joke is that he's clever. But for us, for the adults, the insight is that the humor itself is a commentary on identity.
He's an idea wearing a rabbit suit.
Not an animal that just happens to talk.
Okay, so that raises the big question. If he's not a rabbit in a natural sense, what is that rabbit form supposed to represent?
And this is where we need to zoom out and use that wider cultural lens the sources talk about. The rabbit form is what they call a mask of species.
Mask of species. Sounds academic.
It just means the physical disguise is a container for something much deeper, an ancient archetype.
Ah, the trickster. He's the modern cartoon version of that figure.
Precisely. I mean, the Trickster is one of the oldest figures in all of storytelling all across the globe.
You're talking about figures like Anansi, the spider god from West Africa.
Right? Or Loki, the Norse god of mischief, or even the Coyote figure in many Native American traditions.
And the common thread is that they never use brute force. It's always about wit, manipulation, and playing psychological games.
And they always exploit the arrogance of authority figures. Bugs fits that pattern perfectly. He wins because he finds his enemy's fatal flaw.
Like Elmer Fudd's obsession or Yosemite Sam's explosive anger.
Exactly. Or the Coyote's blind faith in technology. He uses their own flaws against them. It's pure mental agility.
But wait a second, is it possible we're overthinking this? I mean, these were made pretty quickly for Saturday morning audiences. Maybe the hunter rabbit thing was just an easy gag.
That's a fair point, but the sources argue, pretty compellingly, that the sophistication was baked in from the start, because the Trickster has a really powerful social function.
Which is?
the satire of normalcy, but refusing to live by instinct, by rejecting that predictable life of a rabbit. Bugs is critiquing conformity itself.
So he's saying you don't have to be what your label says you are.
Exactly right. He thrives because he embraces performance. He's basically saying, I might look like a weak little rabbit, but I will perform the role of a genius.
He represents the tension between nature and culture.
And he is a cultural creation who absolutely refuses to be defined by his biology.
And you can see the animators knew it. They were in on the joke, weren't they? They kept telling us he was smarter than the average rabbit.
That phrase is pure gold. It's meta-commentary. He's smarter because he was never supposed to be an average rabbit in the first place.
He was designed to mock the system.
To mock the predator and to mock our own expectations of what a rabbit should be. The persona is just the perfect, non-threatening disguise to do it from.
Which brings us squarely into today. I mean, we live in an age of really sophisticated animation and, frankly, a cultural obsession with authenticity. So why would this resonate more now?
Well, you can connect it directly to modern anxieties about, identity and performance.
The masks we all wear.
Right. We're all fascinated with authenticity, with the roles we're supposed to play for our jobs, our families, on social media. We're always wondering what's real and what's performance.
And Bugs is the original performer.
He is. His whole conflict, refusing to conform to his species' role, it mirrors our own debates about identity. He's labeled rabbit, but he only acts as trickster.
That tension is incredibly relatable today.
It is. And that's why he fits so perfectly into the modern tradition of complex adult animation.
You're talking about shows like BoJack Horseman.
Exactly. Shows that are built on exploring these anthropomorphic animals who have deep, very human flaws and existential crises.
So the whole premise of an animal with human intelligence who can't even do basic animal things, that starts with Bugs.
It's right there. His entire character is this high-concept joke about the gap between the biological and the intellectual.
In a reboot today, you wouldn't even have to hide it.
You wouldn't. You can lean right into it. Bugs is a self-aware commentary on how media builds these figures that just transcend their origins. He's not a bunny. He's an idea that weaponized a furry costume.
He embodies rebellion through a superior performance. He uses the world's low expectations of a rabbit and turns that weakness into his greatest strength. He's not cute. He's calculated.
And that calculation, that's really the key takeaway for you, the listener. The humor here is actually philosophical.
Bugs was never meant to burrow or graze. He was designed to outwit, to outtalk, and to outlast.
He is, without a doubt, a rabbit in name only. He's a performer who used his species as a label to achieve, really, cultural immortality.
It changes everything when you realize the carrot isn't food. It's a prop.
It's a cigar. It lets him survey the chaos he's about to create.
Which brings us to a final provocative thought for you to chew on.
The sources contend that Bugs embodies this trickster archetype, the one who mocks authority and disrupts the natural order. So if this character's decades of survival and popularity are based entirely on performing an identity that rejects the instincts of his species,
What does that tell you about the enduring power of wit and self-aware performance over brute nature in American culture?
is the performer always destined to win against the predictable?
That is fascinating stuff. We hope this deep dive helps you see the subversive genius behind the wisecracks next time you see a classic short. Thanks for joining us for the deep dive.